Morning Year 4, and I thought I'd do a video today for your science lesson. So there's going to be a little bit of an investigation today, but I wanted to talk you through it because it is a new topic and there are some words in there, some vocabulary that you might not be familiar with. And then hopefully once you've watched this, you'll be able to go away and do it on your own. So the first thing I want you to do is in your home learning book, just as you would in classes, I want you to write the date and the learning objectives. So the short date in the corner would be the 19th of the 1st, 2021. Underline it with your ruler as we do in class. Like that. And then write the WALT. What we're going to learn to do today is we're going to learn to understand pitch. Okay, so pitch is to do with sound. Now, some of you might already know what pitch is, especially if you think to our music lessons, or you think, or if you play an instrument, have music lessons outside of school, you might already know what pitch is. So that's really good. So we're going to build on that learning. I'm going to switch now to sharing my screen. So you'll see the home learning document that your parents might have out or that you should be familiar with now. So that's not me sharing my screen at all. Sorry, I do apologise. There we go. And I click on that and you should be seeing me in the corner, nice and little, and you should see my screen. So it says week 3. I can't believe we're into week 3, but this is looking at understanding pitch. So the success criteria for today is I can identify and describe high and low sounds, which is what we mean by pitch. You can describe how pitches are created in different ways, and you're going to investigate pitch using water. So I've got mine, I'm going to hold it up to the camera. It's not funny, it's green. I've added food colouring to it, and a glass and a spoon. So that's what you're going to be doing a bit later on today. Now you can, if you have got this open on the PDF, if you hold down the control button and click on this link for the National Academy, there is a video by the Oak Academy that explains pitch and frequency. We're not really looking at frequency, but the video is there for a little bit of extra learning if you want to do a bit more research into it, or if you want to watch a little bit more. All right, so moving on then. So some of the words I'm going to be using today are high or higher, low, lower, pitch, vibration, which you've already learned about in the previous 2 lessons, shorter and longer. All right, so keep an ear out for those and make sure you understand them. If you're still not sure, you can always go and look them up in a dictionary at the end of this lesson. So different sounds. We know that sounds can be loud or quiet. So bigger vibrations make louder sounds. So if you make a really loud sound like ah, that has got a big vibration. Okay. If you're making a smaller sound, so if I make my voice really quiet, the vibrations are smaller, they're not as big. All right. So there are other ways though that the sounds can be different. So you can make high sounds and you can make low sounds. Can you show your parent or somebody that might be in the room, or even if there's no one there, just shout at the computer like I do. Can you now make a high sound? So not a loud sound, a high sound like ah, excuse my voice. And then a low sound. What about making a very low sound? Right. And who can remember, there was a special word that was introduced last week in science. Who can remember what that word was? That's right. That word was amplitude. Well done. Thumbs up if you remembered that. It's quite a new and hard word for you. So moving on, if you can see, there's a diagram on the screen now. So high and low, or higher and lower, are the words that we're going to be using when describing the pitch of a sound. Okay, it's different to the amplitude. Amplitude, you learnt last week, is the measure of how loud or how quiet the sound is. Okay, so amplitude, loud and quiet. Pitch is high and low. So they're the two differences. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. Okay, you should see me a bit bigger now. So pitch is high and low. So that or and amplitude is the loud or quiet. Okay, so how loud or quiet. So it's really, really key that you understand the difference between those two. Now I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint that I would be using in class. So you can see that high sounds can be loud and quiet as well. So I could do a really loud, low sound if I wanted to, or a really loud, high-pitched sound. And below you can, this diagram is just showing you a picture of what a sound wave would look like if you could see it. So moving on, how do you think then on a percussion instrument you would be able to make a higher sound? So look at the xylophone in the picture. Which part of that xylophone do you think would have the higher pitch, and which one do you think would have the lower pitch? What do you think? I'm not going to tell you because we're going to watch a video in a minute, but just have a think about it. The next one I want you to look at is string instrument. Okay, so you could tell your parent or your partner about this if there's someone else in the room with you. So a stringed instrument, so something like a guitar, how would you make a higher or a lower pitch on a guitar? What would you have to do? Or a wind instrument, how would you create that? So if you were playing flute or a recorder, how do you make the sound different on there? Right, I have got a video link and it should be open on another screen. So fingers crossed, because this is the first time I've shared a video. I'm going to go to screen share and hopefully I'm going to stop this one. Say hello again. And I'm going to see if I can open up this. I'm just going to pause. It's all right. I had something else open. So I'm going to open up this screen and hopefully you should see the same screen that I've got, and I'm going to play this little video, but I am going to stop it before the end because he does the same experiment that we're going to do, and I don't want you to see that just yet.
Fun science demos. The big idea today is sound and how sound changes. Through science, we've discovered that the faster something vibrates, the higher the sound or pitch, and the slower something vibrates, the lower the sound or pitch. I can show you with my voice. La. My vocal cords are vibrating slower. La. They're speeding up. La. Speeding up. La. They're moving really quickly, so the pitch goes up. I can't show you that through my throat, but I can with these neat little demonstrations. I have rulers fastened to the tabletop. I have a guitar. I have a xylophone, and I'm going to fill a bottle of water to show you that science at work. So let's use these rulers. Again, the slower something vibrates, the lower the sound or the pitch. I can even see that ruler moving slowly. Well, the faster something vibrates, the higher the sound or pitch. Low, high, slower, faster. Let's check out the guitar. Let's see if we can make that pitch higher by making it vibrate faster. The pitch goes up, the faster it vibrates. Now, let's try the xylophone. You can hear the sound and the pitch go up because that's vibrating much more quickly. This is vibrating slower. Slower, vibrating vibrating faster. Now, the water.
Right, so that should have answered some of your questions about the musical instrument. So if I start sharing the screen again, I keep doing that, I'm ever so sorry. If I keep sharing the screen again and go back to the PowerPoint and we move on, we can see that on a stringed instrument, there are several ways to change the pitch. So the tighter, thinner, or shorter the string is, the higher pitch the sound will be. So you could see in that video, he was putting his finger further down the string. So he was making the string shorter and the pitch got higher. The further up the string he put his finger, the lower it was. And you can do that with the thickness of the string as well. So the sound will, if the string was looser, so it wasn't quite as tight, or it was thicker, or it was longer, the lower the sound would be. He also demonstrated that with the ruler, the faster vibrations made the sound higher. So when the ruler was shorter, when the ruler was shorter and he used just the little bit of the ruler, it was higher because it moved quicker. And when he used the longer bit of the ruler, it was lower because the ruler was longer. It went slower. It's quicker when it's smaller. You can investigate that with a ruler at home if you want to. Go back to this. No, here it is. So go back to this. So then we can see with the wind instrument, the column of air is what vibrates to cause the sound. So shortening the column of air will create a higher sound. So if you're playing the recorder, you shorten the column of the air, or you make the column of air longer by putting your fingers over the holes. And normally we would do this investigation with panpipes, but we're not going to do that because plastic straws aren't great for the environment and we need plastic straws to do it. So we've changed the way we're going to do it this time. So change in pitch in a percussion instrument, the surface or object that is struck is the thing that vibrates to cause the sound. So if you hit the xylophone, that vibrates and it causes the sound. Okay, it can be changed in different ways. So if the bars or the keys on the xylophone, the shorter the bar, the higher the pitch. The longer the bar, the lower the pitch. If you were using a drum, the tighter the skin, so the skin is the bit that goes over the top of the drum, the tighter that is, the higher the pitch will be. Okay. So generally, the shorter, tighter, or thinner the object is, the higher the pitch of the sound. This is because the vibrations are faster. Okay, faster vibrations make a higher pitch. The longer, looser, or thicker the object, the lower the pitch of the sound will be because the vibrations are slower. And that's what you need to remember. So moving on to the experiment today. So this is what you're going to need. I did put a note last week about needing some glasses and some water and a spoon. So the first thing I want you to do is I'm going to stop sharing this screen again so you can see my whiteboard behind me. I want you to write the question. Now this is just like in school when we're writing up our experiments in school. I want you to put the subheading question like that and underline it with a ruler. I should have used my ruler then, sorry. And I want you to write the key question that's on that PDF document, or if I share my screen again, if you look at this screen, you can see how can I make different glasses have different pitches. Okay, so what you're going to do, you should have this sheet and it tells you what you need. All right. And then I want you, once you've written the question under the subheading, so how can I change the pitch in a glass, I want you to do this subheading prediction. And I want you to use the sentence stems on the sheet to write your predictions. So we normally talk about these in class. So it says write a prediction about what you think will happen. Will the glass with more water have a higher pitch? Will the glass with less water have a higher pitch? So you're going to use these sentence stems that you can see here. I predict that the glass with the water will have the highest pitch. I think the glass with the, so you're going to use more or less there. And you could extend these sentences by explaining why. Why do you think the glass with more water would have a certain pitch? Why do you think the glass with the less water would have a certain pitch? But try and keep it scientific. Don't just put I think so because that's what I think, or because it's more water. You've got to try and be more scientific about it. So using those words vibrations in there, I think the more water that's in the jar means the vibrations will be quicker or the vibrations will be slower. So you being scientific with it. That's all I want you to write in your book for now. Then you're going to follow the method, and it says fill, it's there with pictures as well. And it says fill 6 glasses. If you haven't got 6 glasses, don't worry. Okay. If you don't have 6 glasses, that doesn't matter. If you've only got 4 or 3, what I want you to do is I want you to take your water and take your glass. It looks a bit green now. It's a bit of a funny colour. And I want you to pour a certain amount of water into one of your glasses. I'm going to move that down. I'm going to hold it up so that you can see it. Okay. And then I want you to, not hard, I want you to hit the side of the glass with a spoon and listen to the pitch it makes. All right, so that's your tester glass. Then I want you to get however many other glasses you've got, and I want you to fill them with different amounts of water. All right, so I want you, I'm just going to pour. Ideally, your glasses would all be the same size and same width, but that's not how things necessarily work. So you're going to fill your glasses with different amounts of water. Then I want you to order them. So I don't want you to strike them. I don't want you to hear the pitch of them apart from the first one. What I want you to do is I want you to put your glasses in order of what you think. So I want you to put the lowest, the one that you think will have the lowest pitch on this side. So if I thought that one, and the one that I think will have the highest pitch on the other side. So you can see my glasses on the table. I would order them how I wanted them in the order that I thought. Then you can experiment. So if I start sharing my screen again, it says fill 6 bottles, make sure the amounts are obviously different so it's easier to order them. You could add food colouring if you want to make the colours of the rainbow. It just makes it a bit easier to see. Once you get to step 3, so you've ordered them and you've listened to them, I want you to say whether you were correct. My predictions were incorrect or my predictions were correct. Based on what you found out, did the one with the most water have the highest pitch, if that's what you said? All right. Once you've done that, that's all that you've got to do in your home learning book. But then you can move on and you can have a bit of an experiment. So you can see in step 4, does the sound change if you hit the top or the bottom of the glass? What about if you use a different tool to hit the glass with? What happens if you use, I don't know, orange juice instead of water or milk? All right. What happens? Does anything happen? I'd love to see anything that you come up with. It would be really good to see if it changes with the different experiments. But all you need to write today is the question, your prediction, and what you found out. Good luck, have fun, and I'll see you on another video.